up, Facebook family? What's up, IG family? What's up, YouTube family? Yo, you are with me. It is your boy Jarvis. You're on with me on IG, FB, and YouTube. Wisdom is in the building. And guess what? It's still Jarvis TV. The music that you hear in the background is Beauty and the Beast by a good friend of mine, like a little brother to me, K Alico. Just wanted to show some love. Now I can't keep playing his music because I don't want them blocking my stuff on any outlets. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that for you right there. So tonight we're going to be having a great conversation. We're going to be talking about a jack of all trades is a master of none. Jack of all trades is a master of none. Is this a pro or a con? Is this a good or a bad thing? And the reason I wanted to bring it back to the table, and I was already going to bring it back to the table, is because I definitely am one that I like to add balance to anything that I'm saying. And I know a lot of times we say something and we don't know the origin of it. We don't know why we're saying what we're saying. We don't know, what it stands for or why people stand with it. We just say it because we heard somebody else say it. It's kind of one of those things where it's like that story you hear about the guy who his wife was his wife. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm laughing because my thought process is there. But his wife would cut half of their turkey and put half the turkey in the pan and just get rid of the other half of the turkey, right? And with him doing that, with her doing that, he kept looking at her and asking her, like, "Hey, so what are you doing? Why are you doing all this stuff?" And so she would just kind of be like, "Well, I don't know. My mom, she used to do all that stuff." So this went on for years. Eventually, he's like, I'm going to have to ask her mom. So he goes to her mom and he says, "Well, why did you cut the turkey in half and just throw the other half away?" And she said, "I don't know. My mother always did that." And so great grandma was still alive. That's 3 generations of women. He goes to great grandma and he sits down. And he's like, "Look, great grandma, I just need to know. Help me understand. Why in the world? See, my wife cuts the turkey in half and she throws the other part of the turkey away, but the pot is like definitely big enough. Then I went to her mother, your daughter, and she does the same thing, and the pot is definitely big enough. So now I'm asking you, and I'm just curious. I just need to know. Can you please help your boy out and help me understand why they're doing this?" And she says, "Well, when I was their age, our pot wasn't big enough, and the meat would go bad before we got a chance to cook it. So I just threw it out. I just threw it away. There was no sense in keeping it." And he said, "Oh." So the moral of that story is that, or the premise of that story is basically they were just following a tradition. They were just doing something just because they saw somebody else do it, and that's what a lot of us do. What's up to everybody over here? Let me pause for a second. What's up to everybody over here on Instagram? I got Legal Scorpion. I got JSO. I got Gemini in the building, and I got Reek my baby, Maya baby, sorry, I can't see all the names. 816 Jazz in the building. Joel, my God, Joel, what's good with you in the building over there on IG? I got MTC. That's Marcus Cohen for those who don't know. Yo, I got Torian jumping in. Just want to say what's up to all those people that I can see. And please feel free to go ahead and jump in and say what's up. Like, let me know that you're there. Throw some hearts if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube. I got it set up so I can see you jump in, but I won't know that you jumped in until you actually jump in. That's kind of how it goes. You just don't know until you know. So leave your comments, leave some stuff. I do want to say this up front. If somebody could please, if over here on Instagram, if you could for me, please go ahead and put for everyone to text impact to this phone number, 386-200-1394. Text impact to 386-200-1394. This is a way to get in direct contact with me. This is also a way to jump in. We have the Impact Rally that's coming up, you all. It's coming up at the end of January. It's about to be live. I just reminded myself of a song back in the day that came from a movie, Sunset Park. What time is it? It's time to get live. It's time to represent. So let me switch it up. Impact Rally. What time is it? It's time to get live. It's time to represent. Yo, it's going to be so fly. This is going to be something that's going to be a 2-day event here in the Atlanta area at the end of January. And when you text impact to 386-200-1394, what that does is you are going to be one of the first people. Matter of fact, I was supposed to send it out yesterday. I apologize. I had some things that came up. But you are actually you're going to have what am I thinking? You're gonna VIP tickets. You'll be able to get early bird special. There's an early bird special. So if you want that, you got to text that, and I'm gonna make sure everything gets out tonight. I got somebody already wanting to jump in on the conversation. It looks like Miss Prep Body. So let's see what she has to say, and I'll jump back into what we're talking once I get her in here. So I've accepted her in. Let me see, and she's gonna jump on here. Yo, what's up, Miss Lady? How are you doing? Your phone is sideways. Look like you're working out. Now you're upside down. Now I can see you. Now I can see you. So how are you doing? Good. Good. I see you jumping in early. Did you get a chance to hear what our topic is about tonight?
Nope, I kind of got in a little bit late.
Okay. Hey, that's all right. So just so I let everybody know, this is Miss Prep Body. She's got a hashtag and a campaign right now, Show Up. And there's some great things that she does as an individual. She may not look it, but I'll let her tell you her age. 57 and going strong, right?
Yep, every day all
57 day. And going strong. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I'm glad to have you on here. So our topic tonight, we're going to be talking about there's a saying that I mentioned yesterday, and it was Jack of all trades, master of none. And I gave everybody a story, and I was talking about how people do things just based off of tradition. They just, the reason why the woman kept cutting her turkey in half and throwing the other half away was because her mom did it. Her mom did it because her mom did it. And then when they went back and asked the questions, they found out that the great grandmother, the great grandmother or grandma was doing it because the pot was too small, and everybody else was just doing it because they saw them do it. So there's a lot of times where we do things in life just because we saw or heard somebody else do it without going back and researching it for ourselves, or really trying to think out of the box and make a decision for ourselves. And that's kind of where I started off, and then I started saying what's up to everybody. So let's. What do you think? Jack of all trades is a master of none. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword. Why would you say a double-edged sword?
The jack of all trades mean it means you're just taking on everything.
Okay.
So you're willing to jump in. You're just willing to get it in and try to make things happen.
I got you.
And the other part, say that one more time. Repeat.
Well, it's a jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of none just means you're either not completing it or you just think you're not achieving the goal you want to achieve. I think it's just a thought process.
Okay, just a thought process. I'm tracking with you. So the thing that I put in the comments over on Facebook and YouTube is that so many leaders and mentors, they say that, but the question is, are they really using it the right way? Are they using it in context? Like if I come to you and I say, listen, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. Is that a good thing that I'm saying to you, or is it a bad thing that I'm saying to you? Now, this is kind of a setup.
It sounds like you're saying you're doing everything, but you're accomplishing nothing. It sounds like, you're doing it, but you're not making anything happen. You're failing. Sounds like failure.
Failure.
Sounds like you'd be saying I'm failing.
Okay, I got you. And just so that so everybody understands, I am simulcasting. So I'm on the Wisdom app. I am on Instagram. I am on YouTube, and I am on Facebook all at the same time. So as I see people pop up, I want to say what's up to them. And I also want you guys to know that when you hear the voices in the background, you may be hearing a person who's talking that is with me on YouTube. You may hear a person who's talking that is with me on IG. Right now, we're talking to Miss Prep Body on Instagram. And so just want to bring everybody up to speed. And if you're on Wisdom and you want to jump in, please feel free to do so. If you are on YouTube and IG, I just put the link in there. So if you would like to join the conversation, please feel free to join the conversation. All right. So back to what we were talking about. That was like a quick commercial, letting everybody know where we were. When people say this, so a jack of all trades is a master of none. When people say this, mentors, leaders, coaches, when they say it, they generally say it without knowing the origin of the actual comment, right? Like they're saying it because they're looking at it and they're trying to get someone to focus. They're trying to get someone to hone in on their skills and really point their eyesights in one direction instead of being scattered all over the place. Is that fair to say? Like when you've heard people say it in the past, or when you've said it, kind of like you said, you're all over the place. You're not really great at anything. You're just kind of mediocre at everything.
I get it. Like someone's just trying to hone you in on one set skill versus you scattered. Basically,
right.
Instead of giving everything 10%, one thing 100%.
Right.
Okay.
So the crazy thing is the actual quote is one that is supposed to be a compliment. The origin of this is supposed to be a compliment, and there was an artist or an author back in the day who wrote something, and he included he was talking about William Shakespeare, and he used the comment, and that's where it started to kind of turn and make a negative connotation. And I should have given you guys the exact timing of that, but please, whenever I'm talking about something, and whenever I bring people in on a conversation, and whatever it is, I don't care if it's a scripture, if it's a quote from a book, if it's a quote from some famous person, go search it out yourself. Go check it out. There's nothing that is more powerful than you gaining the knowledge for yourself. Don't just take somebody's word for it. There's too many times we get these people who jump on social media, they jump on YouTube, and they are the official voice, but they are just talking about something that they read or something that they heard. So I welcome people. Please challenge me. That's a part of being a coach. It's a part of being a mentor. It's part of being a leader, is allowing people to discover and challenge and ask questions and talk. And I've had some great conversations around the things that we've talked about. And there's a lot of things that I'll say intentionally, and I want to add balance. And tonight is about adding balance to a conversation before. So let me read this comment that we have. Legal Scorpion, she just put in the comments over here on IG. She says, Essays and Characters of a Prison by English writer. That is right. That is the book. Thank you so much, Legal Scorpion. What up, me in the building? That was the name of the book, Essays and Characters of a Prison by English writer Jeffrey Minshall. Minshall. I'm sorry. She put it so that I could actually say it the right way. So good stuff. That is it. And in there, he was coming for William Shakespeare, and from that point on, people just started like taking it and saying they shortened it because they wanted to make a point. So my question, and the good thing is that we have Prep Body on here. She's a analytical person. She likes to kind of think through something until she understands it. The question is, when you say that, when you hear it said, is that a pro or is it a con? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing?
It would depend on what the exact question was, and if the person feels they've already been the master of the trade. So if you're told you are not mastering this, I think it would be letting go of your own ego and thought process and be willing to allow something else.
Okay.
To be able to accept something else other than what you think you know.
Okay, I got you. So one of the things that I will say is like when I say it, the first time I ever heard it, I've always been someone who's been very skilled at a lot of things. Like I'm very skilled at doing a lot of things. There's so many things I can put my hand to and just get it done. People say, you can do that too? Yes, I can. And you can do that as well? Yes, I can. Oh, you can do that too? Yes, I can. And I do it so smooth and so and so consistently, and so just like I'm very agile when I do it. I'm like fluid when I do certain things. And so I am a jack of all trades. And I remember I was working for a company, and my boss at the time, he's like, Jarvis, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. Do you know what that means? And I was like, well, help me understand. He said, well, if you keep putting yourself, like you're good at so many different things, but you're not great at just one thing. Your performance is like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. But if you hone in on just that one thing, you'll be great. And that's how a lot of leaders and a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches, a lot of speakers have utilized that quote to try to help someone focus in on one thing. Over the years, I personally have battled with it back and forth. And with me battling with it back and forth, my battle has been, well, wouldn't you want me to know how to do more than one thing? And there's got to be balance when you're saying it, because the reality is when that quote was originally put out, when the statement was originally put out, it was actually meant as a compliment. And the full quote is this. This is the complete saying. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. meaning that that person who's a jack of all trades, if you have them on the ship with you and they know how to man the sails and to drop the anchor and how to swab the deck, and they know how to do all these things, you know, there's somebody who's going to be more useful to you than that person who all they understand is how to read the compass. You follow me on that? Yeah. So it's because I've always thought like that. When I say it, I always try to follow it up with balance. And last night when I said it, I was talking about making sure that you have a vision and you're disciplined in following your vision. And that whole discipline part about following your vision, and you can track with this. Like for you in your health, your show up campaign is all based on people being consistent and getting themselves up out their bed, get up off your butt, get up off your couch, and just show up to the gym. That first step is all you gotta do. Just get there, show up, and start doing the work. Right? So that's where I was going with it last night. It's like, okay, put all that other stuff out your mind. Find that thing that you can focus on, because that thing that you put your vision to, now you do that. The balance to my statement from yesterday is this: you're gonna have to know how to do certain things on your way to your vision. You're gonna have to go from layer to layer to layer to layer. I used the analogy yesterday talking about the map and how you plot out a destination on the map. When you're driving on the map, now let's take this. You got to stop at a gas station to gas up, right? That's a stop. You do that stop, gas, get a certain kind of gas there. It's the same kind of gas, but you're at a gas station, maybe a Shell station. You go further up the road, you got to gas up again. This gas station may be a racetrack. You go further up the road, you got to gas up again. This gas station may be something else. You know, so you've made 3 different stops. You've stopped at 3 different gas stations. You probably got 3 different types of things to eat in these 3 different gas stations, but you have one thing in mind. You're going to your destination. So you were able to operate, and then go. You follow me? So give me some of your feedback. And before you do, I got to say, what's up, Wilhelmina in the building? I see her over here on IG waving. But yeah, go ahead. Talk to me. Let's talk, Prep Body.
Well, I do believe in the get one thing 100%.
Okay.
I believe that so much because in my career, whether it be in the industry or in the fitness industry, I find that if you don't get one thing 100%, things tend to fall through the cracks.
Right.
You never get to close that deal. You always find yourself building, and then you turn around and start building something else. And you never get that absolute final completion. It's like building a house, but there's no doors.
Okay.
If you went back and you started building a garage, and you started building, a driveway, you never complete the actual house.
Right.
So, but at the same time, like you said, I believe like if you work in a store, if you're a manager, you have to be able to know how to work the cash register and sell shoes.
Right.
And the closing and the opening. So that's part of the jack of all trades.
Yeah.
It is a catch-22.
Yeah.
Same thing when you're parenting. You have to be able to manage a whole household and not just being able to cook and, clean the house.
Right.
I don't know. I find it a catch-22. I find it something that you have to decide, what the important thing is in life, and that one thing that gets everything else solved for me has to be that one thing you give 100% to. It's like that one thing in life, you must master it.
Right.
It must be the one thing you can't, in my world, you just can't half-ass it. You got to give it absolute 100%.
Absolutely.
It's just now I'm trying to figure out what do I get that 100% to?
Okay.
It's the what. That's my question to you. What's the what?
What is the what?
What is that one thing you give 100%?
I thought you was trying to call me out to the streets, like meet me outside. How about that?
Yeah, I got you,
That's how I thought you was like, what? What's the what? What's the what? You say it, and you jacked your head for it at the same time. What's the what? What's the what? No, but I agree with what you're saying. And one of the things that I've coached people on is helping them to understand you can be a jack of all trades. That's perfectly fine for you to be a jack of all trades. And the reason I say it's perfectly fine for you to be a jack of all trades is because you may be 75% over here, 85% over here, 95% over here, 25% over here. You may just know how to do a little bit of everything. And it's each thing that you're doing has its season. It's going to come into play to help you through whatever season you're going through. Now, the thing that I do push all of my clients to, and that I do talk about is finding the focus. Because if I'm going to be good at, let's say for me, if I'm going to be good at production, if I'm going to be good at video, if I'm going to be good at social media, if I'm going to be good at speaking, if I'm going to be good at developing content, if I'm going to be good at coaching, if I'm going to be like, I can be good at all of these things. I have to know that all of those things that I'm good at are pointing in the same direction, which are going to make me phenomenal at the one thing. Not just great, not just better, but phenomenal. Everything's pointed for me, everything's pointed towards I'm doing this because it all has a why to it. If it doesn't connect with a why, then I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to leave it alone. That's for me.
Okay, so question. If I'm your client and I'm one of those people that have that atypical, that type A personality, what then do you tell me do I allow myself not to give the 100% to? If I say I'm doing 5 things, I need to get everything done, I can't give everything 100%. How do I decide then what do, in my mind, I allow to fall to the cracks, and what do I allow, what can I get 50% to? What do I get the 100 to? I mean, just making that decision, what do you tell your client?
Okay, so at that very moment, I sit down and I do a mind map with my client. And what a mind map is it helps us look at what's going to lead to what, and what should we prioritize in what order. I'm not going to make the decision for you. You're going to make the decision on the things that are going to happen. I'm just going to ask you the right questions. So let's say you have 5 different things that you have to get done, 5 different things that you're trying to get taken care of. And you know in your mind that you need to focus on, like your goal is you need to do this. Like I have this thing right here I have to do. So now we're looking at it and I'll say, okay, let's look at number one. Number one, how important is it that gets done right now? On a scale from 1 to 5, 5 being it has to be done right now, 0 or 1 being like it can wait, 3 being like it's kind of important. Tell me what is that? And then they'll give it to me. Then I'll move to the next thing and I'll say, okay, now for point 2, on a scale from 1 to 5, what is the level of importance that gets done right now? And then they'll give it to me. And you do so on and so forth until you get to all 5 of them. And then once you do all 5, you're going to find that one of them is going to be extremely important. That is a must. It must get done. And then the others are going to kind of fall into some sort of a stack ranking as opposed to, some sort of stack ranking in a sense of like, these are the priorities. This is what needs to happen. This is what needs to go on. So once that happens, now we look back at it and we start looking at the other things that are underneath. And then we'll say, okay, so if this is something if this is important, this is important, this is important, this is important. The reality is everything's not important at the same time. There is something that can wait a few more days, or something that can wait a few more minutes, or something that can wait maybe a few more months. You just have to take that sense of urgency and remove it from your heart. Because if you carry that sense of urgency in your heart and your mind for everything, now you're going to build up anxiety on the inside of you. And those anxieties are going to release toxins. And those toxins are going to cause you to start to get sick. You're going to deal with ulcers. You're going to deal like all kinds of things are going to happen. So it's all about not prioritizing the time. You can't manage the time. You can just manage the priorities. So let's manage the priorities on what's going to happen. Like what is the need right now? What is the most urgent need? And a lot of times you'll find that people will be like, well, I need all of it. And when they say they need all of it, the reality is they feel like they need all of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that they need to do all of it right now. And it's asking the questions so that they can think through the process of, okay, this can wait a couple of days. That can wait a couple of days. This can move to this, and you start shoveling things around like a slider. And then once they get it to a slider, then they put it in order on their own. So real quick, what's up to my guy, Shots by Dot, an amazing photographer, jumped in over on IG. He asked, what's going on? Love you, my guy. It's great to see you, man. Tonight we're talking about jack of all trades is a master of none. Is this a pro or a con? So back into this conversation with Miss Prep Body.
So is that the formula for being, you just give me the formula for being the jack of all trades, it sounds like.
I just gave you the formula for balancing out what you can do with being a jack of all trades. Because really what you're doing is you're going to have to, like, if you have, like what you gave me was a list of priorities, a list of things that need to be done. I got to do this. 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 So now all I've done is I've showed you how to move what needs to be done first in the first place, then second in second place, third in third place, fourth and fourth place, fifth and fifth place. And it wasn't something that I did. It was something that I asked you questions on, where you kind of put those things in order on your own, and you came to the actualization on your own to say, hey, you know what, this is real. Like, okay, I really do need to do da 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 first. Like, so let's make it. Let's look at it like this. The it kind of falls back into to Maslow's hierarchy of need, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of need, where your basic needs, once they're met, then you can move to the next level. Then you move to the next level. You can move to the next level. But if you're looking at life, and let's just say, as a mother, you have to feed your kids. Okay, that's a priority. My kids got to eat. So that becomes top priority, especially if there's no food in the house. What do I got to do to put food in the house? You know what I mean? Then it's like, I want to go hang out with, excuse me, I want to go hang out with JoJo. JoJo can wait. Unless JoJo got your answers, JoJo can wait. Because right now the priority is the kids. I need to pay the light bill. Okay, so now does JoJo trump the light bill, or does JoJo fall under the light bill? JoJo falls under the light bill, because the money that you would use to go hang out with JoJo, you would actually need that money to pay for the light bill. I need a brand new pair of shoes. Okay, now let's talk about the shoes. Do you need a brand new pair of shoes because you just got a new job and you have to wear this particular kind of shoe for work and they're not going to hire you unless you do? Or is it something that we can split off some of the money from the light bill, where we can, so now you're asking questions to probe through those things and they start to adjust. The funny thing is, the more you look at the needs versus the wants and the desires, those wants and desires start to kind of fall lower and lower and lower and lower on the priority list. And you put the things that are life pertaining, life threatening, closer to the top.
But wouldn't that be the same as being a jack of all trades? Isn't that the same formula to mastering being a jack of all? Well, not just say mastering, but having the ability to be the jack of all trades. If everything 100% would just mean prioritizing. Because then you'd still be able to do it if you prioritize.
Okay, so let's look at it like this, and let me turn you up so I can make sure that the other apps are capturing you. So let's look at it like this. When I think of a trade, I'm thinking of your skill set.
Okay.
Like, I know for me, I'm a speaker. I know for me, I'm a coach. I know for me, I can cut the mess out of somebody's grass, as far as lawn maintenance. That's something else I can do. I know that I'm a handyman. My grandfather taught me a lot of things on how to fix certain things, electrician, all those types of things. I don't know how to fix a car, especially the cars now, because everything's electric. So I know how to change some brakes and some oil. Those are all things that I can do. So those are all different trades that I can pick up. I can teach. I can facilitate, right? I can cook, I can grill. Those are all things that I can do. They're things that can be taken in as a trade, right? And if I'm looking at, okay, now I want to, and this is where the conversation gets great. If I'm looking at, I need to make money, now I'm looking at all of the different things that I have access to and all of the different things that I see that can make money. Now I can look at every single one of those and I'm like, okay, I can, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to cut grass. On this day, I'm going to speak. On this day, I'm going to do this. And on this day, I'm going to do that. And on this day, and now me being a jack of all trades has actually allowed me to start pulling income and revenue from places that I probably wouldn't have been able to pull them from if I only knew how to do one thing as far as a trade, thinking of a trade. Now, the priority piece and the mastering being a jack of all trades, where it becomes the thing that we want people to try to focus on, like saying it's okay. Yes, that's why it's a compliment. It's okay to be a jack of all trades. Is all of these things are driven in one direction: creating financial income, creating financial freedom, creating financial wealth, bringing things into one area so that it's all pointed in the same direction. You're basically making an arrow, and the tip of the arrow is your vision, where you're trying to get to. Now, as you start to get further up your post into your, let's just call it a thermometer, as your thermometer starts to raise and the money is coming in, right? Your arrow tip starts to narrow. So now you don't cut the grass anymore. Now you don't cook for everybody anymore. Now you don't do lawn maintenance, the lawn care for other people anymore. Now you don't wash the cars. Now you see how it's starting to narrow out. So once it narrows out.
Is that about time, or about the fact that, is that about time, or is that about money, resources? Meaning there's more money coming in from one area that you've mastered, so you can narrow down the other ones that you mastered.
It is about both time, because time is money, quite
Right.
honestly. Because think about it, when you ask about when somebody says, "Man, I want to buy this car. How much money do you need?" I need $70,000. Okay, well, go get it. Well, I got to do this.
Right.
So now it's going to take time to equate to that money. So whenever we go spend
Right.
money, we're spending our time, basically. So that's why I said it's a matter of both. But for what you were saying, um, as time goes, if everything stays wide, then you haven't really figured out what it is that you got to do. But as you start to eliminate things, and I will say this, like over the course of the past year, I went from my arrow being like this to starting to narrow things down, narrow things down, narrow things down. So now my arrow probably has 3 things that I'm focusing on, where before it had 5 or 6 things that I was focusing on. And it was challenging because I had to give each point of focus a certain amount of time. And then you start thinking, you're like, okay, does this really equate to what I needed to? So it's a checklist, right? You're checking it off. Does this actually equate to what I needed to equate to, or am I spinning my wheels? If you're spinning your wheels, if there's no growth on it, then you got to let it go. Okay, so you move closer in. You see how that goes? So as time goes, as the money increases, even if the money does not increase, but the time goes and you start to become more efficient at other things, you can start dropping the things that you weren't as efficient in. You still know how to do them. So if somebody called you and said, like if somebody called me right now and said, "Hey man, can you cut my grass for me?" I know how to take care of the yard. And if I have the time to do it, then yes, I can go do it. That's a benefit.
So are you saying being the jack of all trades allows you to pick the trade?
Yeah, being the jack of all trades, it allows you to be more accessible when it comes to being able to assist other people. Um, and I'll say it like this: like I know that I've been asked to help people move in the past, and you're helping somebody move, and they need somebody who knows how to reset the alarms on the door. Well, I know how to do that. I can reset the alarm on the door for you. So instead of you going to pay somebody to go sit the real, oh, I got you, man. Da-da-da-da-da. Now, if all I knew how to do was just move the furniture, oh yeah, you out of luck. You gonna sit there and you're gonna have to try to figure that out on your own. So that's why I say it's not a bad thing to be a jack of all trades. We just over time they've shortened the actual quote. The actual quote, and I'm gonna say it again for everybody, is a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes is better than a master or jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes is better than a master of one.
Right.
Yeah. So let's see, like Legal Scorpion says, being a jack of all trades makes you marketable. Your value goes up. Very true. I agree with that statement. I definitely agree with that statement. And let me pause. Let me pause really quick.
Something that causes people to take advantage of you as well. Companies.
You said it causes people to take advantage of you?
Companies take advantage of you once they realize you're a jack of a lot of trades. You get a lot of titles with the same money. It's an extra 22 depending on where you're at.
That is true. That is true. Companies will do that. And I have been a part of companies who saw my talents and my skill sets, not a skill set, my skill sets. And because of my skill sets, they utilize me in multiple facets. Now, here's where that comes into play. And you have to trust. And this is one of those things where I just kind of fall back into I rely on my personal relationship with God and my faith. I trust that God's got me. There's not one company that I've ever worked for where they've taken advantage of my skills and my talents where I did not see them experience some sort of like whoever it was that was misusing the gift that I have, they experienced some sort of hardship. Now I ain't saying that God did that to them. I ain't saying I prayed nothing on them, but I am saying that it gives me the confidence to know that when I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm doing it knowing who and whose I am with that mindset that, okay, God, you got me. I'm out here. I'm placed on this earth, not for myself, but for others. Let me go ahead and let me give of my talent. Let me share my talent with the world. In those instances, matter of fact, I'll tell you this. This is exactly what happened. One company, like my direct leader, was taking so much advantage of my skill set and the things that I could do, my leadership ability, my training ability, my speaking ability, my the motivation, the empowerment, the coaching, all of this stuff. And then just kind of drug me, right? I ended up leaving the company. And within a month of me leaving the company, that individual lost their job. They were done. another another company that I work for, same thing. They brought me in at like a bait, like the minimum wage at the time was like $5.15. Like I moved from Seattle to Florida and went from making like $15 an hour to making $5 an hour. It was crazy. So as I'm doing this $5 an hour, I'm working and I'm the jack of all trades kicks in. I know how to bring the new people in. I know how to get them excited about being here. I know how to teach them how to do the customer service. I know how to lead them and train them and show them how to go to the next level. I'm doing all this stuff, right? They start hiring everybody on, making more money than me. They pass on me for certain promotion opportunities. And then something small ends up happening. I have a new boss and he's a little threatened by the presence that I have, and he ends up letting me go. Well, a month and a half later, everybody in there lost their job because they shut the whole place down.
So they didn't know when they hired you, you came with the wrath of God.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, y'all gotta watch out. Now, I'm not. Hey, listen. What I'm saying is like it's I've been in those positions, so I don't want people. What I want you to hear me say is don't be afraid to allow your gifts and talents to make room for you, because with every door that closed, there were more doors that opened. My personal gifts, my personal talents, the being a jack of all trades in those environments wasn't necessarily a bad thing because somebody remembered something that I did and they were like, yo, we got to get this guy. We got to get this kid. Matter of fact, from each one of those jobs, there was a better opportunity that came after I was no longer with them.
Cool. That's how I got my Heisman Trophy job. I worked for Grand Hyatt and I was just doing their, kind of more like a secretary. Doing all the paperwork. All that stuff. And I wound up leaving because, again, I was a jack of all trades and I had all these departments I was running.
Right.
And the same pay. So I wound up leaving, got sick, doing, like you said, doing way too much, taking on way more than I should have, not voicing it, internalizing it, got really bad pneumonia. When I left and resigned, I felt so relieved. I will never forget, I was on the train on the subway in New York going home thinking, oh my God, I just quit my job. I've got kids to feed. What have I done?
Right.
A friend asked me to come by and meet them, and I almost didn't do it. He used to work at the Grand Hyatt. I said, all right, I'll come and meet you, and we'll just sit down and talk, have a drink. He says to me, I'm doing the Heisman Trophy Awards. I handle the Heisman, and I needed a manager to handle the Heisman with me.
Okay.
I almost didn't go. And because he knew I worked all these different departments, not as management, but, more doing all the secretarial work.
Right.
He remembered me, and when we just sat down and talked that day, he hired me as the assistant manager to do the Heisman Trophy Awards.
There you go.
You're right.
There you go.
That little story.
There you go. See, there you go. Your gifts make room for you. It's okay to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. But I want to challenge you to, like, for anyone who's listening, if you are a jack of all trades, I want you to point all of your trades in the right direction. Point them in a direction so that if there's true north, everything's pointing north. And they're pointing north at one point. You find that point. It's almost like if all of us who are scattered out around the United States, we're in all of these different places, we live in all these different cities, we're all headed into, let's say we're all going into Seattle, we're all coming from separate destinations, we're going to one point. That's what you got to do with your trades. Point the trades that you get yourself involved in, that you invest your time in, all in the same direction so that it can help you reach the goal. Because if not, you're just running straight up and down. Your marketability is good, but you're not really performing at a level that is showing whoever saw your ability, you're now not performing at the level that they need you to perform at. We see that with athletes all the time. They get cut from football teams, cut from basketball teams all the time because they saw what they could do and the abilities that they had to be able to reach different parts of the field and do different things on the field. And when they could no longer do the one thing they need them to do, they let them go. Right? That happens in almost every sport. It happens in jobs. It happens everywhere. People do that. So, So listen here, Prep Body. I am actually, I'm actually getting ready to move you off of here because we've been having a great conversation. And if there's anybody else who wants to come up and talk about a jack of all trades and is a master of none, whether or not it's a pro or con. Please feel free to do so. In the meantime, everybody show some love for Miss Pret Body. She gets some music on her way out. That's your outro music. Hey. All right. Let me quit, man. Let me quit. All right. So you have a good night, ma'am. Glad to have you on here. You have to dismiss yourself because I have not figured out yet how to just kick people off of it. All right. So tonight, everybody, we're talking about a jack of all trades is a master of none, whether or not it's a pro or a con. I just had a great conversation with Miss Pret Body. You can definitely see her stuff over on Instagram, Facebook. She's on Instagram and Facebook. She shared a little bit of who she is and what her story is. But we, in that conversation, I hope that you guys were able to gather what we were saying about the original, the origin of the actual comment. The comment, the quote itself is a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And in that thought process, there are things that you know how to do. And I wanted to add balance to what I was saying yesterday. Yesterday, I was talking about your vision and I was talking about your discipline. And in talking about vision and discipline, I made the comment, you don't necessarily want to be a jack of all trades, master of none, because you'll be running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And for the point that I was making yesterday, I wasn't saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, you have to have a focus. You have to take those things that make you marketable and point them all in the same direction. What is your goal? What is your desire? What is it that you have ambition for? What is the impact that you're going to make in this earth? What are you going to do that nobody else is going to do that'll be unremovable from the face of this planet? And that's what that came from. That's where that was coming from. That's where it stood. A jack of all trades is a master of none. However, that is not a tear down. It is not a con. It is actually a pro. And it is a pro because a jack of all trades is often better than a master of one thing. Let me give you this situation. You have a heart specialist that's in the hospital and all he knows how to do is he is the best heart specialist in the world. But you get somebody who comes in and they need something done with their lungs and he doesn't know how to do what you do to fix somebody's lungs. I don't know why that would happen, but let's just say it happened. He's the only doctor that's there. What happens? He's a specialist at one thing. He's mastered that one thing. Now, let's say we have a doctor who works in the hospital. He's there all the time. He's not necessarily a heart specialist, but he does know certain things to do to help keep the heart pumping. He's not necessarily the eye specialist, but he knows what to do to make sure the eyes are still functioning. He's not necessarily the lung specialist, but he knows what to do to make sure that you keep the lungs full of oxygen and keep the fluid out of there. He's not necessarily a kidney specialist. I'm going through all these different things. He knows a little bit about all of this stuff, enough to keep a person alive until the specialist can come. Who do you want on your team? Do you want the specialist that only works on the hearts? Or do you want the person who's going to be able to be there, who can take care of every single thing that comes through and can sustain somebody's life long enough for us to get them to a specialist? I would say that you would want the latter of the two. And the reason why I say that is because that is what we see in hospitals every day. There's doctors that are in hospitals that are in the ER that take care of every single thing that comes through that door. Those are the ones who are jacks of all trade. Now, their one trade that it's all focused into is being a doctor. They can handle different things that come across the emergency table, but their one thing that their focus is on is being a doctor. That is their one trade. They've mastered being a doctor, but there's all sorts of things within being a doctor that they know how to do. So they are extremely marketable. When you are out here, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're starting your own business, people tell you all the time, what's your niche market? You got to find your niche market. You got to hit that niche market. You got to have this. Okay, once you find your niche market, what is the problem that you're going to solve for your niche market? I want to challenge your thought process, though. Let me challenge your thought process. Instead of looking at the thing that you're going to solve for your niche market, let me ask you this. How are you going to serve your niche market? How are you going to impact the lives of the people in your niche market? Now, if somebody could please, for me, if you could go in over on Instagram, if you're on there, please put in this number to text 386-200-1394 with the word impact. That will allow me to connect with you on a one-on-one basis and be able to give you some great information. So please, everybody, if there's somebody who can do that for me on IG, put in the chat, text impact to 386-200-1394. Now, if you're enjoying what we're talking about, and you have topics that you want to talk about, the best way to be able to get this information to me is by texting that number. You want to text impact to 386-200-1394. I'm getting ready to start offering some more master's classes. I'm actually thinking about offering a master's class coming up here in the next couple of weeks out here in the Atlanta area. But we do have coming up at the end of January the Impact Rally, and the Impact Rally is about to be so dope. Thank you so much, Legal Scorpion, for doing that. Let me go ahead and pin this in here so that we can have it. Boom. Thank you. The Impact Rally is going to be so dope. It's if you experience anything that you don't want to experience again, going through 2019, 2020, 2021, and you're like, matter of fact, let me break it down like this. If you look at your list of goals, and in your list of goals for 2021, your list of incomplete goals versus the ones that you completed is off balance, meaning that you only completed a few and there's a lot of incompletes, then you want to come to the Impact Rally. We are going to help you get yourself ready and kick off the new year the right way. It's called an Impact Rally, but it's all about impact, impacting to make a better you in 2022 to where you hit the ground running. We're going to be talking about having the right mentality. We're going to be talking about the thing, how to lay out your goals and how to chase them. We're going to talk about how you can, if you apply the things, go out and take your teams to the next level. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have a team of people, I'll show you how to coach your team up to where you guys are a winning team. It's nothing new. I'm going to take the same things that helped me get promoted time after time after time after time. And I'm going to take the same things that I gave to companies, and I literally mean gave to companies that have caused them to be to have millions on millions in revenue. I'm going to share those things with you. And for me to do that, I got to get you all in one space. I'm also going to talk about the mental toughness, the physical toughness, the spiritual toughness. And I'm going to show you how to use your voice to make an impact in your world. Meaning, like, if you're in corporate America, your voice is going to be so loud that they're going to have to put you in the right positions, because you're not just going to be barking. You're actually going to be moving and talking. And as you're talking and moving, you're going to be delivering things to people like they've never had them delivered before. If it's customer service you're looking at, then this is where you want to be. If it's gaining more clients, then this is where you want to be. If it's just creating an environment, a culture where people say, I want that business, then this is where you want to be. And to get that information, you got to text impact to 386-200-1394. And those people who text that number, please make sure you fill it all the way out. I'm going to release the early bird special, and you're going to get a special. There's going to be a regular package, and there's going to be a VIP package. I recommend the VIP package. That's just me, but I want to help everybody get to that next level, y'all. So in tonight's conversation, talking about a jack of all trades being a master of none, I really wanted to get a chance, and thank you so much, Prep Body, for jumping in. I enjoyed being able to talk with you and share those things with you, share that dialogue with you. You brought up some good questions, but when you look at it, when you all look at it, don't ever look at that statement as a negative thing. Don't ever look at it as it's something that you have to shy away from. You make yourself more marketable. The key is making yourself marketable and doing it in a way where you're not stressing yourself out. You're not straining yourself out. You're not falling apart. Your anxiety's not all over the place. You are actually going in and getting the job done and being efficient and proficient at what it is that you're doing. You want people to look, and I will tell you this, every company I ever worked for, when I was no longer there, it left a void. Every team I ever played for, when I was no longer there, it left a void. And that is because I had the mentality that I was going to give them my best. And giving them your best doesn't mean that you have to know how to do everything. It just means that you have to be great at being you. Being the authentic you. You have to be the authentic you. There's a business you that's authentic. All right. Now, when I say the authentic you, if you was raised in the hood and I don't want you showing up at the workplace acting crazy and talking crazy to everybody. What I want you to do is I want you to know that there is and you don't necessarily have to code switch. People say code switching, and I understand, because I had to code switch a lot in life to be able to be and assimilate into certain environments. Just because you sound intelligent does not mean that you don't sound like a black person. I'm just letting you know. Just because you sound intelligent doesn't mean that you don't sound like a brown person. Just because you sound intelligent does not mean you don't sound like a yellow person. Intelligence is not depicted by white. Let me help you understand. Intelligence is not depicted by white. There are those people, like I grew up, I spoke very proper. My grandmother wasn't having it. She was like, no, you enunciate your words. You don't say that at the table. Like she was very clear in wanting to make sure that I spoke in a way where people understood me and I could articulate myself. That is the reason why I can articulate myself now, because she took the time to instill that on the inside of me. When I work with my clients, when I work with students, when I work with young men, when I work with young adults, I talk to them about the importance of enunciation. And we are in a day and an age now, we deal with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there are a lot of things that in the workplace that people are now very attentive to. They're very sensitive to, and they're going to be attentive and sensitive to it because it is the hot button right now. That does not give you a green pass to show up at work talking about boss man. I'll tell you what, if you was working for me, I would definitely send you home. I'm like, are you okay? Hey, you good? Matter of fact, let me give you some walking music while you go home. Go ahead. That's the walking music I'm gonna give. Man, let me quit. But listen, y'all, you have to know that there's a time and a place for everything. There is a time when you can speak a certain way when you're with your family and with your friends, and there's a time that you can speak a certain way when you're in public. And you're probably thinking, well, what does that have to do with being a jack of all trades? Well, that's a part of who you are. You have the ability to assimilate yourself into any environment. I can walk into any environment and be a part of the environment because I understand, like I'm looking and I'm seeing and I'm asking myself, what is it going to take for me to impact these lives? Who are the people in this crowd that I'm supposed to reach? What is it in this business that I'm supposed to do? What company is it that, like when I'm with the company, and let me talk about Hertz for a minute. When I started with Hertz, I was at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Like I show up in a suit and a tie, y'all. A suit, well, I didn't wear the jacket, but I wore my shirt, my tie. I had my nice Aldo shoes on, my nice slacks on. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I had my little frohawk. You know what I'm saying? It didn't look like this, and that it was a frohawk. And then I cut it and I had my nice little fade with my waves and everything. And I was looking good, but I was out there in the sunshine, in the heat of summer in Florida and the humidity, washing cars. Started there. But when I was there, now let me help you out with a jack of all trades and a master of none. I didn't know anything about the company. So me being a jack of all trades helped me learn the different parts of the company. Washing cars, picking up customers, taking cars to go get dropped off at service stations, standing in there, asking questions, starting to understand what's happening with vehicles. So when vehicles came in, I could then tell a customer what's happening. Starting to understand how to handle customer service, starting to understand how to handle accounts, how to make sales calls, how to go out and collect more business. Like I drew in some very strong and very large accounts being a jack of all trades. I learned how to do more than one thing, and I was giving more than one thing to as many people as possible. Then what ended up happening is there was a promotion that happens, and I still got to do these things. I still got to make sure I'm doing the calls. But now I'm starting to teach them to other people. Jack of all trades. So now I've mastered those things to a level, like I've mastered the trades that I have to a level where now I can give them to other people and teach them how to maneuver and make all those things happen. The people who didn't have the promotions, the people who stayed like at the bottom were the people who never took the time to point all of those different parts of the trade that they were learning and point them in a direction of promotion. I pointed everything that I was doing in a direction of promotion, and I made sure that I had the mindset that I was there to serve, not just the customers, but my fellow employees. I was there to make my boss's job easier. And if you can go into your workplace thinking like that, I guarantee you're going to start to see some things change in your life. You're going to take things to a level that you didn't even understand that it could go to. But it's going to take you grasping that it's okay for you to learn more than one part of the business. Don't be that person that when you walk in the door, all right, that you're just like, well, I don't get paid to do that. I don't care what it is that you do for a living. You get paid a salary, and that salary that you get paid, you got to go do whatever the job requires. There are certain people that we get a little bougie, like, well, if they wanted me to clean bathrooms and they would put in my stuff that I need to clean bathrooms. No, you might want to clean that bathroom. It's okay. Humble yourself. Pride definitely comes before destruction. It's okay to know how to do more than one thing. I wanted to learn what each part of the business had. And before you knew it, here I was. I was a global learning and leadership development manager covering North America, reaching the entire company in North America, developing trainings for the entire company, developing mentorship programs, developing leadership programs, being a part of those things, coaching people, taking on individual mentees, people who I would go and I would speak somewhere and they say, hey, could you mentor me in this thing? And I love that. If I think about it, the people who I spent time mentoring, a lot of them are still with the company, still doing good things, have experienced promotions. We still communicate, we still talk. How does that happen? It happens because I'm a person who has been a jack of all trades, but I take the time to point all of my trades to one individual thing. So I'm very marketable across the bottom. Like I'm a pyramid. I'm very marketable across the bottom, and everything points to my true north, which is where my vision is taking me, which is where my goal is taking me, which is where my dreams, my aspirations are all pointed to this one thing. It is not for selfish gain. It's to leave a mark in this world. It's to impact the lives of every single person that I come in contact with in a positive way. It's to take people from where they are to where they're supposed to be. Working with me as a coach is one of those things where I'm gonna hold you accountable, but I'm gonna help you get to the next level. That's why I say empowerment specialist. I am an empowerment specialist. Anybody can motivate. If I come and I speak at an event, and I tell the people who bring me in, listen, one of two things is gonna happen. I'm either gonna create a real problem for you, or I'm going to set you up to be able to take your company to the next level. Take your business to the next level. Take your church to the next level. I tell them that because I go in and I create all of this fire. I pour out all this gasoline. I light all these fuses. I open all these minds. I pull out all of this potential from all these people. And then when I go away, you have to make a decision. Do I want to bring Jarvis back and have him here for the long term where we can use some of his programs and start actually working with him? Because what he did was pretty dope. And we need to make sure that we have that in our business. Or am I going to be that person where he's gone and I'm just going to do, we got this. That's all about taking the different trades that I can do and pointing them in one direction. And that's a good thing. And then there's a lot of times people will ask me, they'll be like, well, Jarvis, what is it that you actually do? Like, and that's one of those things you kind of laugh at it because you got to stop and you think about it. But the reality is I help corporate and business leaders to personally and professionally develop to improve performance, to develop and improve their communication, to develop and improve their diverse talent management throughout all of my solutions-based training and coaching programs. That's what I do. I empower people to go to the next level. I am that person who's a catalyst for you. I'm a springboard. Jump on it. I'm like a trampoline. I'm trying to take you to the next level. So you have to ask yourself, when you're looking at all of the different things that you do, if you are a jack of all trades, are your trades pointing in the right direction? Are they pointing in the right direction? Yo, I got Simone Hicks over here. And Simone says, for as long as I have known you, you have been like this. Way back to Finish Line days. That is so true. And I was talking about Finish Line just a minute ago. I just didn't want to say it was Finish Line. But yo, that is so true. I'm glad you know that, and I'm glad you know me. I'm consistently me, you guys. This is what it's all about. That's why it's important that you get to this Impact Rally 2022. Impact 2022 is all about taking you to that next level. It's all about pouring into you. It's all about giving you, I'm going to give you things that will help you be successful in 2022. And if you apply them right, they'll take you into 2024. They'll take you into 2029. I'll even say this, if you're on here and you're like, yo, I need to get with Jarvis, I need you as my coach, bro. Go ahead, text me, text Impact to 386-200-1394. Let's talk. Let's set it up. Let's sit down and have a conversation. So man, tonight has been good. Tonight has been fun. There was a joke that I was thinking about when Charlene was talking, and I totally lost it. I totally lost it. It was funny in my head though. It was so funny in my head. I should have just said it when it was funny in my head. As a matter of fact, just for that, we protesting just for a second. Nope. The protest didn't help me get my joke back, but it's okay. It's all right. So listen, you guys, is there anybody, you have any questions or anything on tonight, any comments that you want to put out there? If there's, is there anything that you want to say? If you're on the Wisdom app and you want to chime in, once you chime in on the Wisdom app, they will be able to hear you on both YouTube and IG. I got a couple minutes left here, and I would like to open it up for you. Those of you who are on the other streams, I did put in there how you can connect and jump in, but I would love to be able to hear from you and give you some time. You're probably like, well, what is my takeaway tonight? What do I got to do? Okay, well, I got something for you while we're waiting to see if anybody's going to jump in. Your takeaway from tonight is this. Are you ready? You're ready. Your takeaway from tonight is to sit down and ask yourself, am I a jack of all trades, or am I just a master of one? Ask yourself that question. Am I a jack of all trades, or am I just a master of one? If your answer is I'm a jack of all trades and a master of none, then what I want you to do is I want you to figure out how you can point all of the trades that you are a jack of to one point. Get them all headed in the same direction with one goal in mind. It's what leaders do when they get groups of people. They take all of them and they point them in the same direction. You have to do that in your life. Sit down, look at the things that you do, and how do I point that all in the same direction? If they're not all equaling out to getting you to that one goal, that one point of focus, then I suggest that you sit down and you start to eliminate some of those trades so that you can focus in on the things that will actually help you to be marketable, that will actually help you to move your career, help you to move your business, help you to move your family, all in the right direction. Okay? So that is my question for you. That is the one question that I have for you. You guys have been great tonight. I absolutely, all I gotta say is I've absolutely loved being on here with you. One of the things about me is I love to have fun. I love to just take things to the next level. And so on our way out of here tonight, what I'm gonna do is I'm about to give you a little bit of music and just let you know that your boy got mad love for you. It's cold outside, but I want you just to take yourself to the island. Hey, listen, yo, it has been fun tonight. I'm so glad that each and every one of you were able to join. If you're on the Wisdom app, please make sure to go like, follow, subscribe. You want to go, if you want to catch the playbacks of these, go ahead and go over to YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. You want to like and subscribe. If you have topic ideas, if there's anything that you want to discuss, if there's things that you want me to focus in on, then I want you to go ahead and text IMPACT to 386-200-1394. If you're interested in the IMPACT rally, text IMPACT to 386-200-1394. You will be communicating directly with me, and I'd love that. I'd absolutely enjoy it. You guys have an amazing evening. My prayer is that your lives have been impacted. I see a comment on here. I'm a jack of all trades, but trained to be a jack of one. Okay, I got you. I get that to you, Pratt Body. I get that to you. I see you. The whole in one. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. I absolutely love y'all. Just want y'all to know that. Boom. Love y'all. Boom. Love y'all. So to my IG family, I'm about to say deuces to you first. IG, I love y'all. Thank you for joining us. You've been with me on my IG, my FB, YouTube, Wisdom. It's still Jarvis TV. And so I'm saying good night to you over here on IG. My fault, everybody. I didn't mean to jump out of there so quick, but I want to say good night to you over here on FB and YouTube. I have absolutely enjoyed myself with you. Like, subscribe, and follow. Like, subscribe, and follow. Let's get it. Let's take this thing to the next level. I'll keep you updated on master's classes. I'll keep you updated on my coaching availability. You can always just text me. So y'all have a good night. Holla at you.